Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on two hops. The first one is Stamp It Like It's Hot. This is hosted every month by Brianna. She is a wonderful host for this hop, and she gives us a monthly technique to do. This month's technique is to stamp a title. And I'm going to do a mixture of a stamped title and this thickers piece that you see here. The second hop that we are working on is the PaperCrafting YouTubers hop. It is also a monthly themed hop, and December is December Dreams, or Dreamy December, or something like that. But I will title my layout December Dream. And I have a picture of my husband and I with 4 of our children, plus my daughter's husband in the back. And this photo was taken in 2018, I believe, around our wedding anniversary. All of the kids came to say hello. But I'm actually telling a story for December 2024, and that story is as a mom of adult children who happen to live in 5 different states, and our granddaughter also lives in a different state than we do. My dream for Christmas this year is to have all of my kids at home, and while that is not actually gonna happen because the youngest one and the oldest one cannot make it, I will have Seth, Courtney, and Garrett at home, and of course Courtney's husband Dre. And we'll probably call Emily on Christmas Day and say hello to her as well. Maybe we'll even FaceTime as she opens her presents from us, because I have a box about ready to mail to her and her boyfriend. So let's talk about what I'm using. First off, for Stamp It Like It's Hot, I have this brand new set of stamps that I purchased a couple months ago from Lail by Mail, and I thought I would use these for my stamping project. The thickers piece will be the second part of my title, but then I have a collection that was a freebie on Tracy Reed Designs website. I don't remember how long ago, it's been a hot minute, and before I got my wide format printer, I managed to print some of the papers in roughly 8 by 8. It's not quite 8 by 8, but close enough. So I have a bunch of the papers printed, and I was able to print and cut the embellishments from the collection. This is kind of a quirky collection. It features a lot of stuff about emotions, but like this piece says, if you need me, don't. And they're quite funny. I'm going to be using the floral bits and the labels, possibly the rainbows from this collection, but probably not any of those wordy bits. And that is fine. Like this one says, some days are just hard. And I love, love, love this collection. And maybe I might find a couple of the wordy bits to use on here. But anyway, this is called Tempest. You can get it over at Tracy Reed Designs. I'll link it below, unless she has taken it off her website since I printed, because like I said, I've had this for a while. Now, I did manage to print some stuff in 12 by 12, so I have this background piece here, which is gorgeous with the paper tearing and the corrugated paper, mixed media stuff on it, and I'm going to use that for my background. So I'm going to pause and we're going to get started. I'll be right back. All right, first things first, I'm going to cut apart these 2 pieces of paper. These are the Traveler's Notebook size paper from this collection, and I know that I want to use both of them. I will be using that blue wood grain for, it's not going to be a matte for my photo, it's just going to be a layer behind my photo. The peach piece, I will be using it to create my part of my stamped title. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to cut the little slivers off and get this even, and I'm having trouble with my trimmer. It doesn't like cheaper cardstock for some reason. I guess I can't blame it. I don't really care for cheap cardstock either. Anyway, it's just being really nitpicky. The one thing about this Tim Holtz precision trimmer that I don't like is you have to clean the gutter out often. Otherwise, it starts tearing up the paper, and then you end up having, shredded shreds, or it won't cut things properly. But back to this layout, I'm going to cut a 1-inch strip off here to stamp on, and I'm going to use that banner punch that you see in my upper right hand corner to create a banner. So, at first I'm looking at how I'm going to get that wood grain on there, and I was kind of checking to see if it would matte the photo, but I changed my mind because I realized that matting the photo would cover up so much of that wood grain, and I just really didn't want to do that. So I'm going to cut that little sliver of white that didn't come off when I used my trimmer. And now I'm going to cut out this floral pattern paper. It is also a beautiful wood grain. It's a whitewashed wood grain with a floral print and some peachy mixed media on it. It is a stunning piece of paper. And I have not printed it in 12 by 12 yet because my goal was to try to make sure that I used up all the small pieces before I started printing a whole bunch of it in 12 by 12 to use. So I'm going to layer up these two pieces of paper, kind of like this. My photo is going to end up, it's sort of in the middle of that. And now I'm going to work on my stamping. This set of stamps is brand new. So one of the things that you're going to see me do is I'm going to stamp twice. The first stamp is just for each letter I'm going to stamp is just going to be on a piece of white cardstock because I haven't used them yet and I want to make sure that I get a clean stamp. So I stamp it on the white cardstock first, and ironically it actually stamped very well without doing that. So maybe I didn't have to condition this set of stamps first. I did anyway because I wanted to make sure that I got a pretty decent stamped image. So I know that I could have put them all of the letters on one stamp block, but I find for me that it is just easier for me to go ahead and do them one at a time. I'm not measuring anything. I've only sort of got it in the center of that piece of peach paper. It's good enough for me. If you wanted to measure it, you could absolutely do that. You could put a line in the center of it and line up all of the stamps that way. But I just stamp them one at a time. It doesn't take that long. Perhaps if I was doing a lot of stamping, I might reconsider that decision. But this just is an easy way for me to do this. So I'm putting all of my dirty little letter stamps in that little triangle, and I'm setting them aside so that I can clean them later. Now, I used Pink Fresh Studios Stargazer ink. Those are the inks that I typically use for stamping projects. I don't always or usually stamp with my Distress inks because I feel like, especially the Distress ink, they don't give me a clean enough image. And so I bought the Pink Fresh Studio inks, and I have all of them, and I use those for actual stamping when I want a good clean image. If I'm playing with mixed media, then I absolutely will use the Distress oxides or the Distress ink pads themselves, because with mixed media I'm not looking for a super clean image. Now, the second part of my title, of course, is going to be that, as I've mentioned, this Thickers piece. It is an old set, and it was really hard to get off that paper. I don't know if you could tell that I kind of struggled getting it off. And when I lay it down, you might be able to see that there's a little bit of the backing still on one of the letters that I'll have to fix off camera. I also wanted to go ahead and use that asterisk that was on there just so that I could be finished with that particular thing. I've been trying to use up that set of thickers for quite a while, and I think I started trying to use up that set of thickers over a year ago, and they've just been kind of hanging out on my desk. And when we moved, I actually had to pack up the things on my desk. Some things ended up in a little iris case that I brought with me by when in my car so that I'd have stuff to play with, but a lot of my stuff from my desk just got put into a box. Anyway, so I am layering up some of these floral bits. I really love these flowers. And you know what would be really fun in the centers if I had taken the time and used my crocodile tool and some brads for the centers. But I'm going to do something else with the centers. So I didn't think I was going to use the clouds on this layout, but I like them. They're cute. And I did manage to get 2 of those wordy bit phrases on there. And I'm getting quite a few of those flowers. Now, you will notice that there are only 2 labels on there. I realize that I am going to need more space to write my story. So I've stopped messing with that cluster because I know that I'm going to need to go back and print more labels. All right, I got my layout completely finished. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. Off camera, I did glue everything down, of course. I added foam adhesive to various bits and pieces. I'm not going to touch the center of my flowers because I pulled out 3 colors of my Nuvo Stone Drops. This is a newer purchase for me and I haven't used them yet, but I thought I'd go ahead and play with them on this layout, and I used them for centers in my flowers, and then I put some clusters around this other journaling cluster that I created. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe to my channel. You guys have helped me grow this channel, and I will forever be grateful to you. If you have any comments or questions about this layout, any of the product I used, or techniques that I might have used, just drop those below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You have a great rest of your Saturday and a good weekend. Bye.